Hi, I'm Natasha, and I'm going to talk about a few tools using astrology and how it can help you become more aware of yourself and the people around you. And today I'm going to talk about Saturn in the 8th house or in the house of Scorpio. So, taking Saturn, the planet of karma, restriction, delays, setbacks, learning the hard way, not the easy way, responsibility, duty, yes, all of those things. And we are putting it into the house of Scorpio, of the fixed water sign, of deep, deep intimacy, as well as other people's finances, other people's like inheritances, your in-laws, things that are unseen, hidden, like the organs, the sexual organs especially. So putting Saturn in here restricts Saturn in the 8th house. The person is learning a lot of lessons with deep intimacy, whether that is emotionally or sexually, having to connect with other people. They're having a really hard time or a lot of lessons with deep intimacy and having a deep emotional connection with anyone. And so a lot of these people will have a hard time getting really close to other people, forming a close bond or a close relationship that is not necessarily like superficial, because it's really hard for them to go there. They feel possibly wounded or restricted in this area of intimacy and sharing, bonding with someone else. They just feel kind of bruised and battled in this area. Saturn also represents the father or the masculine energy of that person or in the household. So the person may have had like a very strict parent or strict parent-like figure in the home, dealing with some kind of form of intimacy, kind of limiting, restricting like who they are supposed to be. Like if you were gay, or transgendered or anything that is not of their definition of what it's supposed to be, there's going to be a lot of pushback and tension with that parental figure in that area of your sexual identity, possibly. You could have a lot of lessons and restrictions with other people's money, like maybe your parents' money or some kind of inheritance. Possibly learning lessons with how to spend inheritance or other people's money efficiently and not like sporadically or irresponsibly. It is trying to teach responsibility with the area of other people's money or debts, loans, finances, inheritances. So you're learning hard lessons slowly over and over and over again, possibly getting yelled at or getting fines and fees and pink slips in the areas of debts and collections over and over again until you really grasp the understanding and responsibility of how to spend other people's money, as well as forming deep connections and intimacy. Saturn in the sign of Scorpio or in the 8th house. We have to remember that Scorpio also represents death and rebirth or change and transformation. So this is creating a delay or resistance to change and transformation or growth, spiritual growth, personal growth, maturity growth. There's a delay and resistance in trying to transform and grow. So there's a lot of battles in this area of change and transformation, and the person trying to take control and resist that change. And so it makes it possibly more emotional and more just like emotionally hard to keep overcoming that change, because it's really emotionally hard for these people. Almost like possibly like PTSD, like the anticipation of something bad happening, even though it's not really bad, it's good for you. But the anticipation of something changing or something that is kind of fearful for that individual is approaching, and they kind of know it. They're trying to resist, almost like anxiety or like almost like public speaking, and your palms just naturally start getting really sweaty and clammy, or your voice starts changing. Your You might start stuttering. That's I have to put in my own personal thing in there because I have Saturn in the third, but it's almost like going to be creating that kind of anticipation and anxiety, pushback, delays with having to change and transform in the areas of deep intimacy, because there's probably a fear of always being wounded in that area from other people, or being misunderstood or not heard, always just feeling hurt by other people in some way, like on an intimate scale. And there's this kind of push pull happening, where they're trying to resist not getting hurt, possibly. So there's lessons with that, in order to change and become more resilient. So that is my short description of Saturn in the 8th.